everyone! Last week you saw us install the Max Air fan.
I don't even know if this is gonna work or not.
That was a little tricky. If you haven't caught up with that video, you can watch it here. This week we're going to be installing our solar panels.
We decided to go with 600 watts total, so we have 3 200 watts panels. They're from Renogy. We're going to link them down below. We used this electrical calculator. We're also going to link down below.
Basically, you input all of the stuff that you plan on having in the van, as well as how many hours or minutes a day you're going to be using those appliances, and then it kind of tells you what battery size you need, what solar panels you need, and it also sizes your inverter. So it was very handy. We're going to leave it linked below. I'm just going to give you a quick run through all of the components and tools that we had to get for this job. The first thing we got was this Renogy kit. This is basically a little kit that allows you to install 4 solar panels. This kit comes with some self-tapping screws to do the actual attachment from the panel to the roof. We're not going to be using those. We replaced them for these bolts. We wanted to be able to put in nuts from the inside so that we feel like it's actually secure and that it doesn't jiggle out and we have a flying solar panel. We really didn't want that. So we replaced the kit self-tapping screws with some bolts and nuts and washers. We use the rubber washers from the kit. Those are just nice to make it watertight. The kit also comes with the bolts that you use to attach the bracket to the solar panel. This is the part that attaches to the solar panel, and this is the part that attaches to the van. We saw some people recommending also getting 3M tape under the brackets to just make the connection more secure. We think this is kind of overkill probably, but we're going to do it anyway just to keep that bracket in place. In order to bolt everything in place, we're going to be using this socket wrench. We've already determined that we need the 10 mil size for the socket wrench, and we also have this extra little one so that we can hold it from below while we're tightening it. In order to secure everything down to the roof, we need to pre-drill all of the holes for the bolts, so we got our drill. Every panel comes with a set of cables. They're kind of short, but I think we're going to be able to make do with them. All of those cables are going to connect. There's going to be a positive and a negative that needs to run into the van so that we can wire everything inside. In order to get those cables in, we're going to need to drill a hole. And we're going to use the smallest size we have. And then we got these rubber washers to put into the hole so that the cables don't rub on the bare metal of the van. We also had to get this gland. This is where the cables are going to run through, one positive, one negative, and then the hole is going to be basically inside this little gland. So this is going to keep it weatherproof, hopefully. It has these nozzles to keep everything watertight, and we're going to use lots of sealant, maybe even some butyl tape depending on where we need to put this. For our sealant, we went with Sikaflex. We're going to use this anytime we need sealing anything. We're going to probably put a bead of this into every hole before putting in the bolts, and I think that's it.
First order of business, we're going to attach these brackets to the solar panel using these bolts.
Water loves to accumulate here.
Everything's quite tight.
I can't go any further.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's fine. I got it, I think. We're going to go negative to positive. That's it.
Is it nicely secured?
Yeah, it's so easy.
Nice. Now tuck it under one of the solar panels.
Okay, that's under there.
So Nes is upstairs right now. She's putting in the butyl and the 3M tape to secure the solar panels before we pre-drill and put in the screws.
I'm gonna use some butyl to build this up under here. I just want to do a strip. Okay, next one. Yeah, it's on a good spot. So while Rico finishes up the last hole, I'm going to be putting some Sikaflex on the holes and then dropping the bolts in. Okay, this one I really can't find. Oh, found it. Starting to rain. Okay, it's on. I'm gonna pass it under here so that it's hidden under there. We're currently getting rained on. I don't know. Please stop. Good morning. It's been about a week since we left this project off. It started raining the day we were installing the solar panels and it didn't stop raining till now. So we've had water leaking into the van because the silicone didn't set properly and we weren't able to tighten all of the nuts inside well enough, so there was a lot of water leakage. Now that we have a cloudy day, it's not a sunny day, but at least it's not raining, we're gonna finally try to conclude the process.
All that's left is to make a hole in the roof and pass the cables from the roof to inside the van. So here's what we're gonna use. We're gonna use this drill bit. It's made specifically for drilling round holes into metal and wood. It comes in a kit. It's a Bosch kit. We're going to use the smallest size. This is a 24 mil. After we drill the hole and clean it up, we're going to put this rubber gasket so the cables that we're going to pass through the hole, they don't rub on the metal. Speaking of cables, after we put in the rubber gasket, we're going to pass in these two 10 gauge cables. This end right here is going to connect to the solar cables that we have on the roof already. Then we're going to pass them through the hole that we made, and this end is going to connect to our MPPT. We're going to put in this glands over the hole that we've made, and we're going to put in the cables through here. It makes it so both the hole and the cables are waterproof.
So we figured we're gonna put the gland somewhere around here. We can probably get away with putting the gland in this way. I kind of marked the center of where the hole is gonna be, and this is gonna be over it, and we're gonna figure out if we can indeed keep the gland this way, but if we can't, we can just flip it to whatever side it fits best. I just cleaned the area with some soapy water. I mean, it's going to be snug as a bug.
It's the correct size for the hole.
Okay, that's it. The rubber gasket is in place. Not too shabby.
Too shabby at all.
Like some of the paint transferred because it's not quite dry, but
It looks very good though.
looks great. We got our positive and our negative wires. We're going to put the cap through on both of them, followed by this thing. Okay, now the cables are through the gland, and now I'm going to feed the cables into the hole. Now that we've pulled the cables through the hole, we can start figuring out the logistics of this. So I don't think we can actually do what we wanted, which is putting it this way, because once these are tightened on here, it's going to be a bit too close to the solar panel because it kind of builds up height. So I think we're going to have to flip it in this direction to attach it. So I think it's probably going to end up being here. And then this one is going to do a loop under this solar panel and connect to the negative. And then the positive is just going to connect directly, and maybe we'll hide the connection under this solar panel. So we're going to make the connections now. Okay, so this is actually very simple in comparison to electrics in general because these have a female and a male, so they only really fit one way. Okay, I'll pop it under there. Kind of want to mark where this is gonna go. I'm just gonna kind of layer that on there. Thoroughly used up our roll of butyl that we bought. this stuff is good. On this part, I'm just gonna do like a layer of 3M tape. Now I'm just gonna silicone the bottom of this. Flipping this is gonna be
Very careful.
funny. Wait, it's okay. How did what?
What happened? Did
I'm
you
not
do it
sure.
the other way around?
I think I crossed it accidentally. I crossed the cables.
Oh, they're fixing themselves now.
No, they're crossed.
You have to unplug them afterwards.
Okay, that's in.
Good freaking job, babes. That looks amazing.
That looks. Which one do I undo?
Undo the black one.
No, the black one's the hardest to undo.
Then you've answered your own question.
Ah, got
Good
it.
job.
So now I just need to pass it under here. Okay. And now click it back. Okay, that's okay. So I'm gonna put more silicone around.
Yeah, especially on the back.
So glad that we were covering the solar panels just then.
So, some of it.
I feel like I felt a water droplet.
Oh, there's gray skies ahead. Above. I'm gonna check the weather again. You have soapy water right next to you to wash your finger after the
Yeah. And this doesn't have to look perfect. This is on your roof. I am a bit of a perfectionist, so I struggle with that notion. Okay. Okay.
That's it?
I think so. I think I need the black, all of it. I think I need all of that up
You need
here.
all of that? Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to pull it from the inside?
No, I don't want to pull it in much more actually, because I want this connection to go under the solar panel.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a good amount.
That's good. Ah.
That's gonna be so waterproofed. It's gonna be ridiculous, babes.
It must be.
I'd be willing to bet you any amount of money. No water is gonna get through that.
Now that we've installed the gland and it's actually looking good, it needs to dry. While we wait for it to dry, we're actually going to use this product called lap sealant, and we're going to put it over every single bracket we have on the van. We had a little bit of leaking, as we told you before, so we're doing this just to really make sure that no water gets in.
We applied lap sealant over all of the brackets and all over the glands. So this levels itself, correct?
It's supposed to level itself out, yeah. I think we're going to run out so fast.
We also went back and applied the lap sealant on our max air fan, and this is our biggest advice: just get some lap sealant, apply it all over. It's gonna make it so you don't have any leaks. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.